Hello and welcome to History Repeats Itself. My name is Negative Root and let's get cracking. Today it is the 31st of January 1958 and the Americans are going to have another crack at putting a satellite into orbit. And this time it's Werner von Braun in charge. The American military got first crack at putting a satellite in orbit, and I'll show you what happened. Now, it was called the Vanguard TV3 and it kind of became a theme of the the American space program, insofar as they would invite everyone to the launch, and I'm going to show you what happened to the Vanguard. So this was going to be America's return shot, such as it was. With large explosions. And that was what happened. The let me just go. The probe core actually got thrown clear and started transmitting from the ground. So all the Western newspapers picked that up and thought, "Oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread." There was 1,000,001 funny names. My personal favourites range from Stay Putnik, Flopnik, Kaputnik. They tore the American military to shreds. And Werner von Braun stepped up and said, "Look, I can get one into space." Now, James Van Allen theorised that above the Earth there was this field, and they kind of came together and said, "Right, well, I can get something up there." Werner von Braun said, "I can get something up there." And James Van Allen come up with an experiment, and basically it was a Geiger counter. And the Geiger counter would detect cosmic rays, and basically they were looking for a difference in cosmic rays between different altitudes. Now, this is a very old-fashioned rocket, and I'm going to have a hard time flying it. Now, I'm aiming for an altitude of, or an orbit of 358 by 2550. Who knows if I'm going to achieve it though. I have tried to fly this thing once before and it didn't work then. Now, the reason it's quite hard work is the upper stages are not liquid fueled, they're solid. So once you turn them on, they go until they stop. The upside of that is, though, that they have excellent thrust to weight ratio. They move quite quickly. Now we'll see if we can put this thing in orbit and replicate the experiment that Van Allen and his colleagues achieved, and basically made a really big discovery of the Van Allen belt. We're just burning towards 10 kilometers. We'll start a bit of a turn. Now this is a modified Juno rocket, Juno being a early ICBM, and what's happened, I believe, I've been watching a few documentaries amongst other things. Werner von Braun actually said, "Look, I can do this," but NASA and various officials said, "No, you're not having a go until the American kind of agencies, the American militaries, had to go first." So he had to wait, and I believe he squirreled away parts to a rocket. Oh Jesus, hang on to your ass, Fred. So this is part of the solid stage. Now I've just got to burn this and see if I can get it somewhere close to where we need to be. This will go for quite a bit of time. Let's see where we're at. I need to get it up and out of the atmosphere if I can. Our fuel's burning down. We're out of the atmosphere, so that's good. And we're at 81 kilometers. Now then. So we'll just jettison that stage. So basically, these are the Sargent rocket engines. They're a solid fueled engine, and they would have been launched with a timer. So stage, launch, stage, launch, stage, launch. Now the top has a single one, and then the probe obviously just remains attached to that large stage. Now what we'll do is see how far we can go. Now I'm not going to get anywhere near the target, but we'll see how we go. So we just need to wait a little while longer till we're at our apoapsis. So probably 20 seconds before will be nice. We'll just point it up a little bit. Actually, we don't need that. Alright, so now we stage and hope for the best. Now the thing about these solid fueled rockets is that they were actually fairly exact. They knew, they calculated it out to the nth degree. They knew exactly how far their rockets would go. Dear. Gee, this is going to achieve nowhere near what it should. Anyway, I'll stage her up and see how we go. They were quite exact. They knew, how much delta V they're going to have and how much thrust they were going to have, so they could calculate pretty closely what they were going to achieve with their orbit. Push this as far as we can. Now this, in real life, this was beyond the orbit of Sputnik 2. The Sputnik 2 was, remember, 211 by 1659. So this rocket I don't think is completely accurate. Not with regards to the Soviet probe mod anyway. So what we'll do now is we will extend the antenna. This is how Explorer 1 looked. We will activate the Geiger counter. These are not the results you were looking for. Yes, okay, wonderful. And it started transmitting back. The probe then made an orbit, so it would come out. Now the Van Allen belt surrounds the planet, so it would come out and through the Van Allen belt, and then suddenly the Geiger counter, let's come to the apoapsis, the Geiger counter would start recording results. Let's see if we... Kevin? Someone's been quite funny. Yeah, it would start detecting cosmic rays from the sun, and then as it flew back around the planet and back in closer again, the rays would stop, and then it would start again, and then it would stop. And the scientists worked out that, yeah, it was because of the change in height, so there was something in between the planet and the sun that was stopping these cosmic rays. And that was the major discovery of Explorer 1. Now, I've been using the FASA mod for this launch, and I'll be using FASA for basically all the American stuff, because it's very well made, and it has everything just perfectly created so that I can just fly them. Well, this has been another episode of History Recreates Itself. I'll see you in the next one for another launch.